So remember how I said in my last PTS update video that it was the last update to the PTS before the full release of Phase 3? Well, the developers decided to slip something right by into the PTS updates, and they dropped version 12.7 of the PTS. Now, there's a very good reason why we're sitting in a Pacific P16 right now, and that is because I'm not gonna even, talk around the subject at all. I'm just gonna get straight to it. They added an actual long log carrier for the P16, and it is a official add-on. Now, I remember some people talking about in the comments of my last video about this. They were saying that, wow, we saw a video from 3 months back where this thing had a log carrier. That, and I cannot stress this enough, was not official. That was a tweak of the truck's code to give an idea of what it might look like later on down the line, but that was not an official release for the truck. This is the first time that the developers have actually officially released the ability for the P16 to use the long log carrier. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into what a actual fully built P16 logging truck in Phase 3 could look like, drive like, and interact with the environment like. So let's go ahead and fire it up and get a proper build going. Now, as I know, a lot of people out there are big fans of the Pacific P16, and for good reason. It is a logging icon. It really does embody the idea of heavy haul logging. I mean, if you look up pictures of this thing, back in the day, we're talking about grainy old photographs of what this thing looked like, pulling towering loads of lumber through the woods. That's what people have been wanting to replicate. And finally, we have the ability to do that within the game from an official standpoint and not from a code tweak. So, we're going to go ahead and throw the Westline V12 M900 in this truck, which only brings us up to an A- power to weight rating, but that's okay. Now, gearbox-wise, we're going with the fine-tune because it's new and it's interesting, and I feel like, a lot of people are still kind of first starting to dive into that and play around with it. Now, tires, obviously, it's the P16, so we only have that one option. Winch, we're going with an advanced heavy, and I don't know why I have so many stock heavy winches. It's not really a big deal. Going with a wedge cap, snorkel, and as you can see, we are very, very, very happy to now have the log carrier front. And of course, you do have the saddle high if you want to use that, but log carrier front is the way to go. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw that on there. And front side, not really going to do anything too crazy. I might go ahead and put a sun visor on it. I might go ahead and put, I'm going to leave the stock bumper. The stock bumper looks great. Throw quad horns on it. And we're going to do a flap cap exhaust. We really only get one wheel option. I'm going to leave the stock colors because I think they look really, really good. Now, I know that there are a lot of other colors available here, and a lot of them look really, really good. And these things were offered in other color options. It wasn't just this only color combo. But, with that being said, I think in terms of how we see this thing in history, this color combination is what made it famous. This color combination is what people really know and love. And of course, gotta put beans on the dash. You guys already know. And I'm thinking that this time it's actually gonna be pine forest. And let's see. I'm gonna throw the wolf right there on the dash. And we're gonna throw a freedom bird right there. And let's see. We're gonna go no road, no problem right there. Gonna leave the exterior stickers pretty clean. And I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, the flames are a little cheesy. Putting the flames on there, a little cheesy to me. And I'll go ahead and throw the charging bull hood ornament on this thing. It just looks different, looks good, but it doesn't really detract from the truck at all. So now it's time to actually see what this thing is like as a proper logging truck. And when I say a proper logging truck, I don't mean with the Sequoia on the back like we showed last time. I mean with a proper log carrier trailer. Now, at this point, the only thing that we would need to do in order to make it literally MudRunner level would be to make that logging trailer packable, but that's not really that important to me personally. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the, log carrier rear. There it is. And now, with no modified code whatsoever, this is just straight from the developers, we will be able to use a official Pacific P16 logging setup. So there's long logs, go ahead and load it up, and that is what it looks like. So now we're gonna go ahead and test out the capabilities of a fully loaded Pacific P16 in logging configuration with all upgrades. This is a vanilla setup that I have honestly been dreaming of for a very long time, really ever since this game launched, and I know that a lot of the fans of logging will say the same thing, because I think a lot of people, not only in my comment section, but in the SnowRunner official Discord, really kind of, you know, made it known that when they said originally that that the last update was the final update to the PTS before Phase 3, a lot of people were like, no, we're not getting the P16 with an official logging upgrade. And the devs were like, now wait just a minute, we have a little bit of a surprise for you. And boy did they ever, because when they dropped this, dude, not only were a bunch of other people really excited, I was really freaking excited. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That literally, that setup right there, I think literally is the dream logging setup, especially for a game like this. Like, especially for a game like this, whether you're in the Yukon region or the new and upcoming Wisconsin region, or, I mean, heck, even if you wanted to do some logging in the Michigan region, wherever you wanted to do it, this setup is literally perfect for it. And even though it doesn't have a powered front axle, you still have, you know, 2 axles in the back, and those are both powered and locked. So you do have some really good off-road capability still. And these tires are a pretty good compound. They're not necessarily the best in the game, but they're definitely worth using. So let's actually throw it into some mud and see how it does. Now I know, again, like I said before, that front axle is not powered, but with this approach, I think it could still hold its own. I mean, this is even in high range. Ooh, it's starting to dig. All right, let's not do that. So that's low. Man, okay, well, it's moving. With the weight on those rear axles, it does really, really help. But, I mean, you can tell, obviously, where there would be room for improvement if you did decide to send power to the front. But again, I mean, at the end of the day, I think for those of you that are looking for a truly realistic vanilla logging experience, this really is that in its ultimate degree. This is that to its ultimate level. This is that on a level that I think is going to offer not only a lot of challenge for people, but a lot of immersion and a lot of, like, genuinely enjoyable challenge. Because, you know, what do we look for in a game like this? We don't just look for what trucks we have. We look for what options those trucks have, and we look for the challenges that they provide. And I think this setup right here, not only does it provide a truly iconic looking setup, but it also provides an experience. And it provides an experience that I think a lot of people are going to genuinely enjoy. Let's see how she makes it through the dips obstacle. Remember, those rear axles are locked, but that's only going to do us so much good if it can't propel us forward. No visible winch attachment points, so we're going to have to function solely off of that grip. There it is. Keep it moving. Really, only one of those axles is even doing any work for us right now. The other axle is completely 100% off the ground, which, you know, truly is way different than I would normally take an approach to this. But I really wanted to see what it could do. I genuinely wanted to see what these capabilities look like. And even if you do get to that point to where you can't really go any further, you may still be able to back up. Actually, no, you may not be able to back up. And when you can't back up, it's time to bring in a rescue truck. We already know, I mean, you guys are very used to this thing at this point, being the rescue rig, but that's for good reason. It just makes sense. Now, this is not a vanilla truck, but you know what? I feel like we're going to go ahead and actually try to just pull it all the way through with it. We might as well. Secondary engine, diff lock installed, and yeah, let's see what this little thing's got. Now, normally, I wouldn't put it up to the task of pulling a fully loaded P16 with long logs behind it, but, why not? What a test for the good old Big Bob. Ooh. Alright, got the Pacific off the ground for a second, but that's okay. No problem. Alright, stop engine, swap trucks, Pacific P16. Let's go. I do think that at the end of the day, though, it's still going to be a great setup on the Wisconsin maps. I just think you may end up having to be really careful in any area that falls under the category of really uneven terrain. I really do think that might potentially be a bit of a downfall for this truck. And I don't say downfall in a bad way. I don't say downfall to make fun of this thing. I really don't. I'm so happy that we have this functionality. I just think that the final thing that would top it off, even if it's not 100% realistic or historically accurate, the one thing that would top it off would be to have the option for a powered front axle. Not that you would have to have it on all the time, and not that everybody would have to use it, but just to have that option there, just in case someone wanted to use this as one of their primary trucks. I think at that point, it would really complete the package, and in completing that package, you really would unlock the potential for a truck that really would have almost nothing standing in its way at any time. You know what I mean? Like, at any time, place, whatever. This thing would literally be on top of its game and on top of the world in terms of SnowRunner trucks. Come on. All right. Well, let's see if we have a different gearbox option we can use. We have default, fine-tune, and off-road. So supposedly, this is faster. But the thing is, fine-tune gives us a 5th gear in automatic mode. So fine-tune is probably faster. I don't know. I'm gonna take my chances. Let's go! There's 5th gear. Just gonna go into neutral and let gravity do its freaking work. Come on! Here she goes. That's gonna be a good landing, actually. Whoa! Oh, the log's unpacked. I'm a log skid now. If I end up driving out of here, I will literally give this truck, like, mad props if I could drive it out of here. But I'm not gonna lie, the landing was very composed, like, way more composed than I thought it was gonna be. I love how it just, like, didn't unpack. It's just like, whatever, don't worry about it. What happens if I delete the, oh my god, what happens if I delete that? Oh my god. It really is a skid now. Oh my god, it really is a skid now. It's literally just skidding these logs. That's hilarious. We've made a log skid. I don't really think that was the point of this, but we've made it happen. And the funny thing is, they aren't unpacking. One would think that these would unpack after that, but they're not unpacking. I find that it would be, you know what would be the most hilarious thing? To see how far you can make it around a map like this without the logs unpacking, because as it looks right now, they're probably just not gonna unpack. They're genuinely just probably gonna sit there. And I don't know if the only thing that'll make them unpack would be to roll the truck over. And it's probably the case. It probably won't unpack unless you legitimately roll the truck over, which, I mean, my comment section would be like, just give it to Diesel Addict, aka Rollover Addict, if you know what I mean. But no worries there. We'll just give him some time with it. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Man, why did I do that? I wanted to put it back into high. No, now it's going to be in trouble. I don't want reverse. Oh, I really don't want reverse. Come on. Come on. First. Second. High range. Let's go. Let's not go, apparently. I don't want reverse. You have to be careful with this fine-tuned gearbox, because if you even remotely graze the reverse gate, it's in reverse. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, if you graze the shift gate, it's in reverse. What about if I back up? They still stay. They just skid in the opposite direction. Like, legit, they still stay. That is the most hilarious freaking thing. And I'm not sure if that will be something that they change by the time Phase 3 drops. But with that being said, that is a full stock game setup of the Pacific P16 running with a proper long log carrier, and that's like no mods. That's no modified code, nothing whatsoever. And I, for one, couldn't be happier to see that they've introduced that into the game, and I cannot wait for that to drop as an official part of Phase 3 down the line. And let me know in the comment section down below if you guys are stoked to see this thing with a proper functioning logging configuration. Now, that's going to do it for this video, guys, and if you did enjoy it, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.